Yes, welcome everyone here to the Smash Sports Show right here on Smash FM here on a Wednesday here in Melbourne. Of course, let's go up to our friends in Queensland in particular, and of course, head up to Logan in the south of Brisbane, and of course, speak with the Logan Lightning National Premier League women's team. And of course, at the moment, they're currently sitting in fourth position on the ladder with a couple of rounds to go in their season. And of course, we've got two very special guests on the show right now. Of course, we've got the head coach of the women's team in Nick, as well as, of course, one of his women's Premier League players in Shea, and they joins us right now. Thanks, both for joining us.
Happy to be here.
Thanks for having us.
No worries. Well, tell us, how's the season been like now for the team with, I guess, I think we're closing into the last couple of rounds of the season.
Yeah, it's exciting. We play tonight actually here in Brisbane. So if we get a draw tonight, we're through to the top four and playing finals first time in the club's history of the NPL. So yeah, we've got 2 games remaining, but all we need is a draw from our final 2 games to qualify. If we win both of them, we're a little bit of an outside chance of finishing third as well. So yeah, very exciting times, and the squad's pretty motivated for tonight, I think.
Yeah, we're really excited for tonight.
Now, I noticed that this year in particular, obviously due to COVID, there's been a fair few midweek games this year, obviously due to COVID and obviously the big, huge rain downpours that you've had throughout the season as well. That's cancelled some games. I guess how difficult has this season been, but especially the last maybe 2 months or so, with the inclement weather that you've had up in Brisbane?
Yeah, it's been a bit different. You know, one day it's 35 degrees, the next day we're driving to games in hail. The next day it's raining. It's actually been quite unique for us, you know, playing at this time of year. Although I'm still a fan that we're still playing and we're not going to whinge, you know, especially with what's going on down there with you guys down in Melbourne. But it's certainly been difficult, but also a challenge that we've enjoyed. And yeah, unfortunately, we got a game cancelled halfway through and we weren't leading at the time when the results stood, which obviously affected our push for a top 4 spot, which was quite difficult to probably take at the time. But football's a funny game. If you keep just sticking to your guns, we'll come out better for the experience. But yeah, certainly very different, you know, playing in these conditions. And even some of our American players may not be used to the heat like this. The humidity probably is the hard part for them.
Yeah, definitely.
Since we last had the team on the show, which I think would have been about almost 3 months ago now, I guess, how has it been since then? Yeah,
we're doing probably just after I spoke to you guys with our keeper, Keely Richards. We were doing really well. We were challenging for the title at the time. We made some good recruitment. I think we discussed a bit of recruitment last time, and we just signed a few girls from Melbourne. With Emma Robers and Amy Jackson and a few other girls that had come in, and yeah, unfortunately, a few of them have been injured. They played half a dozen games for us and had to head back to Melbourne or back to other areas of Queensland. So we went from having a really strong competitive squad of about 20, where it was difficult to pick a side week in, week out because there was lots of competition. To it's been quite hard the last couple of weeks. We've had to back some of our youth team girls, which is obviously another challenge, but some of them have really stepped up. And, Charlize and Jazz, they're only 15 and 16 respectively, and have had to play some games lately and haven't let us down. And a few of the girls that may not have seen many minutes have been thrust into the starting side and have not let us down. So although we'd love to have the other girls back, we're still in a really good space right now. So although it probably knocked our title chances apart, we the 4 very confident with a very strong squad at the moment.
Now, you mentioned about finals. That's coming up very soon, or at least a chance to get there, obviously with a draw tonight. I guess you mentioned about injuries as well this year. I guess, are you expecting any of those players to come back at all in the next 2 games, but especially heading towards finals?
Yeah, we've got 2 or 3 players that will be back probably for Saturday's fixture. It just depends on whether we win or draw tonight, whether we might be way out until the finals for them. So yeah, we've got 2 or 3 that will come back into the squad. But that being said, the starting 11 on the weekend was probably our performance of the season. So it's going to be very hard to knock those girls out of that spot at the moment, because if they continue playing with that team camaraderie and playing that style of football, I think it'll be very difficult to break into that side. But that being said, we're going to still need those impact players, those substitute players, to be able to change the game for us. So yeah, so although we're in a good space, we're going to welcome a couple back in the coming week or so.
Obviously, you've got a game tonight, and obviously you've got a game on Sunday to completely finish off the season. Well, not obviously this complete season. Yeah, obviously you've got finals coming up. But obviously the home and away season. Anyway, I guess number one, I know you mentioned that you weren't complaining for the fact that you're still playing at this stage of the year, but does it feel strange that you're playing almost heading to a summer now?
Yeah, it was a very long season. But from America, the soccer season's actually played in these months of the year, so it doesn't feel like that weird to me. But it is weird that we're playing when it's so hot out. But a lot of people have felt the long season. But I don't know, on one hand, it's like feels like it's long, but then it's another exciting thing that we can like keep playing when so many people can't. So it's it still is exciting.
Yeah, we one of the girls actually made the comment, we started pre-season a year ago today.
Stop it. Wow.
So we've actually been training for 12 months for this season. We actually did our pre-season. We started November last year for this season. So,
wow.
But, you know, we've got a couple of recruits for next year that are overseas in America and Portugal who may not even be able to come into the country because of the COVID restrictions, and they're sitting there not playing. You know, they're sitting at home, professional athletes, in my opinion, who might be wasting another year because some other countries haven't taken the stance we've taken. So we're very fortunate, yeah. Although it's tight and you know it's been a long year,
right,
yeah, we're still
grateful.
you know very fortunate and very grateful that we're in this position.
Now, Shea, you mentioned about obviously you're used to it for the fact that obviously you played over in the US, and by the sounds of your accent, you are an American. I'm assuming as well by your accent. I guess number one, I'm assuming that you're staying in Brisbane even after the season finishes, and hopefully stay with Logan going into next year, considering obviously how bad the COVID is over in the US at the moment.
Yes, I don't plan on going anywhere. Granted, I can continue my visas and stay.
Yeah, you can announce that exclusive now. She's staying here.
It's like in Logan.
Keep her on the spot. That's okay. But hold on, just need to get something here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So good. No, I love my time here in Logan. I'm excited for what's to come.
Yeah, Shea's part of the family here. It's something that I pride myself on, and not just with the girls, but the club here. We've just got a really good bunch of people, and the girls in particular, obviously being their coach, mean a lot to me. And Shea, we work together coaching as well. And yeah, she's part of the furniture around here now, whether she likes it or not. She's part of the Logan family, and she really wants to be successful as an individual and successful as a club. And if she can help the club, you know, progress, she will. And to some of those A-League, W League clubs out there, she's someone that I think's ready for that level. Got a little bit of experience last year with the Brisbane Roar as an injury replacement player the last couple of games. But I know if there's a couple of W League clubs out there looking for a recruit for this season, hey, I'm happy to give out my number to make that happen. So yeah, someone I'd highly recommend out there to any of those W League coaches.
Well, hopefully she can come down to Melbourne and play in the W League down here. Obviously, we mentioned quite a lot about the women's side of things at the moment. I think it's been pretty close, but following the competition in the last couple of weeks, obviously it's still pretty tight right at the top. I guess either you surprised at all how tight this year's been so far, even though the season's been pushed back a couple months?
Yeah, it's a good league this year. Honestly, there's probably only one team in our league that struggle a bit and are off the pace, but the rest of the teams on the day are being really competitive this year. I think, you know, players that were dominant players up here 3 or 4 years ago are probably back into the pack a little bit now. Like the league's really dramatically strengthened. A lot of W League players are coming back into this league to stay fit and strong. And obviously due to COVID restrictions, we did have a fair few players come up from the likes of Melbourne and Sydney to get some game time before the borders closed. So that also strengthened the league a little bit as well. We had a few players from Calder FC train with us, and a few from South Melbourne reached out, and a few other clubs down in Sydney. So there's a sprinkle of them in a few of the big clubs up here at the moment. So I'd actually probably say it's the strongest it's been for depth-wise that I've been a part of. So it's looking really good for female football here in Australia.
Mm. Now, obviously, I think the Genius are still going as well at this stage of the year as well. How's that travelling there, especially in the girls' side of things?
Yeah, they just finished on the weekend, just gone a couple of days ago, but no rest for the wicked. They're actually starting their trials this week. So literally outside my office, we're all set up ready to go for trials as well. So they had a long year. It was a bit of a funny way how they completed the season, but once again, we got to finish a season, which was fortunate. So now, we're a very big believer in retention here. So we retain a high number of female players, and I think it was something over 200 and something female registered players at the club this year. I think we'll probably go even bigger next year. And the junior girls, I think our NPL13s finished second, our 15s won the league. Our SAT teams, which is their little ones, did extremely well in their programs. So it's a very exciting moving forward. There's a really good depth of talent there. Well, there's probably 2 girls I've identified in our junior program, probably future junior Matildas or Matildas players in the coming years. So there's some good potential there.
Now, Shea, tell us, how do you think you're travelling so far this year, the way you're playing at the moment?
How are you playing? It's the lingo. Sometimes these Americans don't understand how we talk. How are you playing? How are you going?
Oh, okay. Well, I actually suffered an injury about like halfway through the season, so I missed a good little chunk of the game. So I'm just coming back. But things are starting to look up. Great game last weekend, I think, for the whole team. So I'm excited for the last couple games and for a strong push at finals.
Yeah, no, she downplayed that a little bit. Yeah, she's been out for about 3 months with quite a severe hip injury, and without going into too much detail, but completely healed now. Probably back at 95% on Sunday. Scored the winning goal in a great team performance. Work rates there. Attention to detail was there. So tonight and moving into the final series should be red hot, ready to go.
How important was last week's game? I think you knocked off third place, Capalaba, last week. How important was that game?
That game was massive because of how a couple results went. The last couple games, we needed the points, obviously, to secure finals. So it was huge in that aspect. But also, we always have really, really big games with Capalaba, and it's a bit of a pride thing as well, I think. So it was just a massive game all around, and so we really showed up for the challenge, I think, for that.
Yeah, it's a bit of a derby game in the local league here for us. There's friends off the park, but certainly when we cross that white line, the coaching staff and the girls have a nice little battle going on, and I think 9 of their starting 11 have all got W League experience, either previous seasons or this year with contracts. So they're a very well put together side. So for us to beat them at their venue and keep a clean sheet was probably a season defining moment for us.
Mm. The next couple of questions I'm going to ask is to Shea. Obviously, all these questions I've already asked you already, Nick, when I had you on the show a couple months ago with Keely. So Shea, I'm going to ask you these next couple of questions. Firstly, how did you get involved in the World Game, and why did you choose it?
The World Games of soccer.
Yeah, soccer. Football, yeah.
My mom just enrolled my sister and I when we were 5, as an after school activity, pretty much. And then I think I just fell in love with it playing with my sister. And then the youth system is pretty interesting in this state. So just playing all around, and then getting to travel so much when I was younger from being on different teams, I think just made me love it so much. And then I played in college as well, so then that was great.
You mentioned about you played football or soccer at college. You must tell us which college that you played for, and is there a particular game at college that stands out to you the most?
I played at St. John's University in New York City, and There's lots of games, but actually just coming up on my memories, in 2015, I won the premiership, like the regular season champions with that bunch, and we were in the NCAA tournament with Rachel Daly. She plays in the Houston Dash and English national team. So we played with a couple girls that are like in the English national team that year. It was just a really, really great experience to get that title, because we actually got rings for it as well. So it was a really fun year.
Now, I know I'm going to ask the most silliest question I'm going to ask, but when did you sort of make the decision to come down to Australia and especially to Logan? What convinced you?
Last year, I think it was in April, maybe the end of March, I had just come back from playing in Iceland, and it was freezing there, and I didn't really want to play somewhere cold again. And I had asked some friends, like, if they knew, because they had lived in Australia, and I asked if they knew any coaches, and then through just a random coach that one of my one friend knew, contacted a bunch of the NPL coaches, and then like within like a few days I had a bunch of offers to come down. But talking to Nick and then girls on the team, it seemed like Logan was the best option out of all of them. So then I came here like 2 weeks after that.
Yeah, it was a very quick turnaround. Yeah. I just kept telling her the beach was close by. Lots of sun, no snow like Iceland.
I do love the beach. Yes. Yeah, Iceland, it was very, very cold all the time. And at the time I had a couple offers to go to Sweden and kind of that Scandinavian area again. But after living in Iceland for so long, I couldn't live somewhere cold again. I was like, it's gonna hurt.
I think she played for the same club that Angie Beard from Melbourne Victory she's come back from. So it was the same club in Iceland.
Yeah, KR.
Yeah.
Nick, I need to ask you this question. How important has Shea been since she has arrived at Logan?
She's been fantastic. You know, she's someone that I trust a lot in. I push very hard, but you know, she deserves what she gets. She works hard for everything she does. There's always extra sessions on the cards. There's always constant feedback, whether it's good or bad. She'll suck it up and take it on board and understands that I do it for the right reasons. And we've got a great friendship, and I think some mutual trust and respect there. So I couldn't ask for a better, player-coach relationship where we sort of feed off each other. And sometimes I need to. She helps me understand the female athlete a bit better sometimes. It's difficult for us males sometimes to understand the female psyche, and she can put me in my place sometimes. But the same token, she understands that I'm good at what I do and really want the best for her and best for the team. So I think we've got a really good working relationship personally.
Now, Shea, what does the sport of the world game mean to you, of soccer? What does it mean to you, and especially playing there at Logan?
Soccer is so important to me. It's a big part of my life, where it's like taught me so much like about myself and like the world. It's just like way more than just a game I play. And it's so special to be here at Logan. It actually does feel like a family. Like I'm so far away. I haven't been home in over a year now. And I still feel like I have a family here, and which is always really special because everyone's always asking like how I'm so far away from home, and because a lot of people struggle, but I'm like, it's not. It's a lot easier when you have people that are like family around.
Now, of course, we mentioned in the last interview, obviously the Women's World Cup is down here in Australia very soon. It's I think 3 years time from now, 2023 is when Australia and New Zealand host it. The first question I'll ask to Shea first before I come to you, Nick. Shea, I guess what does that mean to you to have the Women's World Cup down here in Australia?
I think it's really exciting. I mean, I want to stay here for a long time, so hopefully I'm here to see it. But I really love coaching and working with the young players in Australia, and I think that for like little, boys and girls around, it would be really, really special to see that, firsthand. I've never even seen a World Cup in person, so this will be like really, really special. And it'll be great for growing the sport, especially since it's great to see so many younger girls getting involved. Like Nick said, like it's growing at our club here. But I think like when the women won the World Cup, the last one really sparked a drive in the US. So I think having it here will definitely drive enrollment for sure.
It's cool. It's 3 years you're here for now. Hold on, I was going to get her to sign 3 years.
Yeah,
so
I was going to say.
So let me just get it out again. So You've been a great help with that.
Yes.
Oh, no worries. Happy to help. Obviously, Shea just, of course, gave me a fantastic question to ask you now, Nick. I guess since the announcement at the start of the year, or close to the start of the year, have you seen the growth of girls and women's getting involved down there at Logan, or is it still early stages?
I would say early stages. I think the participation will improve either during, around, or after the World Cup, rather than the lead up. The one thing that I really, really hope that the councils and the governments do is use funding for the World Cup to improve standards of facilities for female athletes. I think it's a really good time right now where governments and associations should be, really leveraging this World Cup to get some female only, or not just female only, but just football facilities. At the moment, there's nothing really in Queensland it's either rugby, league, AFL, and we need more football facilities here. And I think teams are going to want to have to train here. We're going to be hosting games, and we want to have those facilities. So it'd be a very incompetent government that wouldn't put money into these female athletes right now and use these infrastructure and leave a legacy beyond the World Cup. So we've got these full-time professional facilities, world-class facilities that these athletes can use ongoing past that. So that's the thing for me is, yes, it builds participation, it builds awareness, hopefully some sponsorship money for these athletes to improve their income streams, but also that legacy of having these grounds and these facilities that they don't have right now, possibly across the world, but certainly not here in Australia.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that, Nick. Now, Shea, you mentioned before that you do a little bit of coaching there as well. Is that something you want to do after you finish your playing career? Even though we don't want you to finish your playing career yet, but is that something you want to do, or do both, playing and coaching?
Yeah, it's something I'm definitely interested. I think whenever I decide to start playing, but I don't plan to anytime soon. But I definitely enjoy coaching the younger kids right now. I have all the way since I've been in college, so for almost 6 years now. So I really enjoy coaching the young ones.
She's got just as much energy as they do, so she's very good with the little ones.
Yeah.
And Shea, what have you learned from coaching the little ones?
The little ones just remind me to have fun, and how much because you see how much they're so pure at that age. They love it so much, and that's when I looks like sometimes it's oh, you have a hard day, bad game on a Sunday, but seeing how excited they are from training, it makes it it levels me. I feel like it really grounds me, coming and seeing them. And then when they're learning a new skill and they're putting so much time into one thing, it's I need to go back and do extra reps, just because we already know, it doesn't mean you have to stop practicing, kind of thing. And it's just so good to see them. But I think it just grounds me because they love it so much, and it just reminds you to have fun, because why we started playing in the first place, So I think.
Now, what would be your advice to our listeners and viewers in Queensland that should get down to Logan and get involved in the world game of soccer?
I would definitely advise anyone that is looking for a club that I think treats its players like family, for sure, to sign up. But we're looking to grow the club and play really good levels of and styles of football. So I think that if anyone's just looking for a great club, they should definitely come to Logan.
Yeah, definitely. I'm the operations manager here, so they can email us at admin@loganlightningfc.com. But obviously we have a great website with lots of information on there, which is quite user friendly. We've got an upcoming summer series, which is just for anyone, any level. Come join in, come give it a test run. That starts next week at our Cornubia venue. Obviously, we have 2 venues here at Logan FC. But yeah, we are open to anyone, whether it's the beginners, intermediate, or advanced. We have that opportunity with having so many different teams here. So just reach out. My mobile number's on the website. My phone goes non-stop, as you can tell during this interview. It's been going on the whole time we've been talking. So yeah, more than happy. Just love to encourage people to get in the game, give it a try. We have come and try days as well. But yeah, just check out our website or our Facebook page.
Now, we'll finish up with a couple of lighthearted questions about the team, which I know Nick's already been used to these questions because I've already asked when I had him and Keely on the show. I wonder if this is going to change at all. Now, tell us who had the most embarrassing moment on the field this season?
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, we've got some pretty funny girls actually, so it's hard to narrow it down.
Well, our celebration last week, we fell
That was
into a
pretty
dog
funny.
pile.
Yeah.
That was actually, I was running to my good friend Demi, and she just didn't catch me. So everyone thought we were actually dog piling, but it was just
It was about 7 or 8 players. I'm like, please get off the girl with the bad shoulder and the bad hip.
Yeah, I was actually squatting.
About 7 girls got up. Yeah, that was pretty funny actually.
Yeah.
Once I knew she was all right.
Yeah, it was completely unintentional, so that was pretty embarrassing.
There's definitely some good training ground moments. There's a couple of players in particular that, can do some silly things at times. But yeah, nothing coming to mind at the moment. Sorry, not in that one.
Yes. Yes, no, I do remember that one. I actually watched that one. So yes, I was waiting for that one. Now, any comedians in the team we should know about?
Well, Demi would be upset if we didn't say Demi.
Yeah, Demi thinks she's funny.
I think she's funny.
I think she's funny too, in her own little quirky way.
Mm-hmm. She's definitely funny. I think Meg McElliott's pretty funny.
Meg's funny. Lua's funny, but she doesn't know she's funny.
Yeah,
she's got a different sort of. Yeah, it just makes me laugh, and she doesn't even know she's doing it.
Yeah, Lua's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah, definitely Demi's the comedian of the group.
For sure.
But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Any good singers and dancers we should know about based off the celebrations?
I'm probably the best dancer in the group.
Croyden is a great dancer. I think Freddie is also a great dancer.
Yeah.
I think actually our team is all, we've got some pretty good dancers.
Yeah.
As a collective group, I think that we can all move.
We definitely have to work on our goal celebrations though. You've definitely given me an idea. We need to have some sort of formalised goal celebration.
We do. Well, Demi, I don't know, Shea.
No, you're not going to Then I might have to show you tonight on the live stream.
We'll show you on the live stream.
Yes.
7:45 tonight on NPLTV.
Just wait.
Yes, I'll be definitely watching that tonight. So now, Shea, do you have a pre-game superstition or ritual?
I always have fresh painted nails on game day. My nails, and I also I always have a smoothie, and I wear the same sports bra and spandex every game day. It's a special set just for game day.
Okay.
Special skins. Okay. Well, you haven't heard that before. Skins, yeah.
Yes.
Skins, yes.
Compression
attire. Yes.
Let's just call it spandex. It sounds funnier.
Yeah.
I know.
Now we'll finish off with this last two, which is there any players on the team that are just plainly forgetful?
Plainly forgetful. Yeah, Lua definitely is.
Lua, for sure.
Yeah.
She asks me at every practice where we're training.
Yeah,
every practice. And I don't know, we've had some people show up in the wrong kits for practice.
We definitely have a big fine jar. We have a pretty big fine system, and Keely actually runs it for us. And I think the girls might be going to Fiji the way it's going with all the fines they're collecting.
It's sad that Corona has stopped travel, because if not, we could afford to go somewhere really nice.
Yeah. All the money goes back into the girls and back into the team, so it's always in good fun. But yeah, they fund for everything this lot, and
we have a mansion.
It's quite funny actually. But yeah, no, Lua's definitely the forgetful one of the group. She cracks me up. Yeah, just the basics of life just elude her.
Now, yes, we did mention. I was going to get to that fine system, which is a great segue. Now, Shea, have you copped a fine yet this year? And if so, what was the one particular one that you copped the fine for?
I think I've copped fined. I think for wearing the wrong
socks or shirt.
Yeah. Well, because I have a nice warm-up top from last year that's Nike, that we're not meant to wear on game days, but it looks way nicer than the other one we have. So I wear that because
but we have sponsors and we have to wear certain attire.
Yeah, so sometimes I have to. I just really wanted to wear the jacket, you know. But I've only gotten fines for that, I think, rather than wearing the wrong socks at practice, probably.
Well, we have sort of the idiot of the week shirt.
I've gotten that as well.
Yeah.
For
what? What did you get it for?
It's always unfair. I don't know how I've gotten it at all.
It's very much a kangaroo court, which she wouldn't know what it means. But yeah, it's voted on by the girls. It's a very corrupt system.
It's so corrupt. I honestly don't know how I've been ever.
Yeah. It doesn't take much for someone to get voted the shirt for the week, the special shirt.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, of course, I will finish up with this one last one, which is, I'm assuming now you got some amazing sponsors that's helped you out throughout this year, especially obviously during COVID. How important have they been, Nick?
Yeah, like Bailey Ladders in particular, Madison Construction and Image Select have been awesome. They've just been so good, just even with cash injections for, in advance for their sponsorship for 2021, just for running costs or able to us to get ahead of the pack on things that we want to deliver on for 2021. But yeah, no, Bailey Ladders, Image Select and Madison Construction, both for the male and the female program have been absolutely outstanding. And I'd recommend to anyone that needs those industries, whether it be signage or construction, to reach out to those guys, because they're not only that they've helped us, but they do a great job. I've used them on a personal level. Madison Construction actually built our new change rooms, which I think are probably the best in the state.
So nice.
Very nice. Image Select does all our signage in the change rooms, our scoreboard, all those sorts of things. And Bailey Ladders obviously is a nationwide brand in that construction industry, and just through their support, it's allowed us to continue our programs at a high level. So yeah, can't thank them enough.
Well, both of you, thank you so much for giving up your time to join us tonight before game day. Obviously, best of luck tonight. Obviously, hopefully you at least get a result tonight to cement your spot in the finals. And obviously, we've one game to go, and we want to wish you all the best. And we'll be tuned for you tonight on the live stream at 7:45 your time, which is 8:45 down here in Melbourne.
Yeah, no worries. We appreciate having us on, and all the best down there in Melbourne.
Thank you.
No worries. And that's Shea and Nick there, joins from the Logan Lightning, of course, football club. Of course, if you want to, if you've got time to get down there tonight, if you're in Brisbane, of course, get down and support them tonight in a game that we'll be hoping to cement their finals with either win or draw tonight. There's more on the Smash Sports Show right after this. Don't go away here on the Wednesday edition.